We're still in 6.7. This is our second video. Determine the present value of a lump sum of money. So the present value formulas is P equals A times 1 plus R over N and raised to the negative NT power. So this is the same formula that was in the other section, except they solve for P instead of leaving it solved for A. So if you divide by the expression 1 plus R over N to the NT power, and divide it to the other side and make the exponent negative, this is what you get. And same thing with the continuous compounded formula. P equals A times E to the negative RT power. Okay? So these are just formulas. To tell you the truth, I don't use them. I used the formulas on the first video. And if I'm looking for the present value, which is what we're doing here, the present value, all that is looking what the money, how much money you start with to get something that you end with. Okay, so in other words, if they're looking for how much do you need now to get $1,000 later on? Well, $1,000 in that case would be the A, and they'll give you the other information that you need. The interest rate might be 10%. It's compounded quarterly. In that case, N is 4. So you put those numbers into the appropriate place into the formula. So, but then what I usually do is I just use the other formulas, and then once I get all the numbers in the right place, I'll solve for the only variable that's left. So yeah, I mean, in the first equation, there's the A, there's the P, there's the R, there's the N, and there's the T. There's 5 variables. They will give you 4. If they say, I want the present value, they'll say, how much do you invest now to get $10,000 later on? They'll give you what the rate is, they'll give you what it's compounded at, and how many years that's going to be. Okay, so they'll give you 4 of the 5 variables. And then the last one, there's the P, there's the A, there's the R, and there's the T. There's 4 variables. You're like, well, what about the E? That's a variable. No, E is the Euler's function. That's that 2.718 we talked about. So in the continuous formula, they'll give you 3 of the 4. They'll give you, if they want to know what the present value is, then they'll give you the A, they'll give you the interest rate, and they'll give you the time. They'll give you 3 of the 4 things that you want, and they'll be asking for the 4th one. So now you know why I said in the upfront of this chapter's videos of why I don't spend a whole lot of time with this in my videos, because it's just a matter of placing numbers into a formula and then figuring out what the unknown is. So my point is on this one is, if you choose not to memorize this formula, just remember the formulas prior to this one, and then you'll just have to do some algebra later on. I think it's worth it, not having to memorize extra formulas if you don't have to. Just memorize the ones up in the previous video, and then solve for the variable that's they're asking you for. Okay. But this is okay too. This is okay. They'll give you they give you the end amount, the A. They give you the interest rate. They'll give you the compounded quarterly or whatever, and they'll give you the time. Maybe it's 20 years. So, and you're like, why would anybody want to know this? Well, if you have kids, for example, let's say, kids, they want to send the kid to college, and they say the kid, the kid's going to need $300,000 at the end of 18 years to go to college. So you put $300,000 in for the A. Maybe the bank will say, we're going to give you an interest rate of 3%. So you put 0.03 in for the R. We'll compound it quarterly. That means N is 4. And T would be 18 because it's 18 years. And then do the math. And they'll tell the parents how much money to invest now so that their kid can have $300,000 at the end of 18 years so they can go off to college. So it'd be less. So P is less than 300,000. Alrighty. So that's kind of this is kind of an example of where you might want to use that. Alrighty. So that ends this video. Notice there is no example, but it's just another formula of the same thing. Okay. So have any questions? Let me know. And if you want to send an example for yourself personally, you know how to contact me. And you have a good day.